Welcome to the next episode of FormCast, where I'm going to literally tell you the biggest thief in the streaming industry. You might not think that there is a thief, but there is. It's called comparison. Comparison is a thief of joy, of hopefulness, of positivity, a thief of a lot of things. But I'm telling you what, comparison is around in the streaming industry, in the fitness industry, anything you do in life, comparison will steal and never give back. When I started streaming, I think the earliest memory in terms of negativity and a negative feeling that I could compare to is just that, comparison. Comparing to the next person in the Discord, comparing to the next streamer on the recommended list, comparing to so many people that at the end of the day, I didn't even know where I was headed. I only knew where I wasn't going. Comparison is a thief of joy. It ruins everything you're trying to do. I remember seeing somebody in a similar Discord community that I was in when I was about under 5 months in to my streaming journey. I remember seeing the follower count going up. I remember thinking they only stream certain days and I stream more and this and that. And obviously at that point, I didn't really know what I was doing. Sometimes I maybe don't know what I'm doing yet. But back then, I compared by numbers. I compared a lot of things. And I think it's important to admit that if you've ever been in this position of comparing yourself to other people, and it makes you feel like lesser of a streamer, lesser of a content creator, lesser of a person, it's important to completely stop immediately. I remember at one point during my comparison journey with this individual that I was doing it with. No one knew that I was comparing to them. I remember saying, "Oh, look, finally, I've surpassed them in follower count. Oh, look, they're slowing down. Must mean I'm doing right." But at the end of the day, all it was doing was setting me up to continue comparing to people. And at the end of the day, really just telling myself, you're not good enough. And if there's anything that's going to kill you, is negative self-talk, negative self-thought, and telling yourself that you won't make it. You can compare yourself in the gym. You can compare yourself in your business. You can compare yourself to the next person at church. You can compare yourself to absolutely anything and everything in life. And most times, it will steal your joy. It will steal your positivity. It will steal the results that would come if you weren't comparing. Now, I've had many discussions with people that say, listen, Form, I'm comparing myself. I find myself comparing more and more and more. And I think that this person is not, necessarily giving out the same form of entertainment, the same level of energy, doesn't put as much time. I know they aren't because I have talked to them. All these things, how do I change this? How do I get to where they are? How do I get to this and that? The problem is you're comparing in the first place. Everyone's journey is different, especially in the streaming industry, in the content creation world. However, we will always compare. Can comparison be positive? Is there a way to compare in order to positively boost your mindset, positively boost your results, and allow you to realize you are exactly where you are because you are where you need to be? Eventually, after a little while of comparing myself in a negative standpoint, I learned how to maneuver comparing into a benefit for me. This is a benefit solely just for myself and my brain, my mindset. Eventually, you learn who to compare with. When you're in the gym, and you got the guy, especially for us guys, or the girl, if you're a girl, you got the person that you look at and you're like, holy jeez, I want to be like them. They got the rock hard 6-pack abs. You can do your laundry on them. You got the biceps, the triceps, the quadriceps, the calves and the feet and the toes and everything. They got the whole package. Whether they're happy or not, who knows? But image in the gym is huge for a lot of people. You compare yourself. Can you change that into knowing who to compare to? You cannot compare to someone that works out 3 times a day, that eats chicken or rice only, doesn't indulge in any pizza, ribs, or chicken wings or anything like that. You cannot compare to that. You need to know who to compare to. And it's the same thing in the streaming world with content creation. You need to know who to compare to in order to realize you are exactly where you need to be, because you are doing perfectly fine. What I'm trying to say is, in the streaming world, you compare to someone, you have no clue what their work ethic is like. You'd have no clue how much energy they put into it. You don't know how much time they put into it. You don't know a lot of factors that literally would allow you to say it's okay to compare to them, or it's not okay to compare yourself to them. So what happens is, eventually I learned who to compare to. And I realized very quickly that where I was at, what I was doing, the numbers that were coming in, the way I felt, the type of content I was putting out, all of these things were actually going above and beyond where I should be as per the average, I guess you can say, statistically. And all of a sudden, my comparison method went from, man, I'm not doing good. Man, I suck at this. Is this where I'm supposed to be? It completely did a 180 to, look how good I'm doing. Look how good I've come. Look at the good I've done. Look at where I've come from. If I'm here now and I'm supposed to be a little further behind, I'm ahead of the game. All of a sudden, my comparison was boosting my mindset into a world of endless possibilities. Comparison can steal so much, and it will make people quit whatever they're doing in the gym, in the streaming industry, in their business, in sports, in anything, education, whatever it is, music. You compare to the next person beside you, and if you're not doing it right, you will eventually let yourself eat yourself up. And you're doing it to yourself. No one tells you compare to this person, go compare yourself to them. Compare yourself to them. No one. Only you. So if you're comparing, do it the right way. I actually encourage people to compare. How does a business compare their success to somebody else if that person is not the right person to compare to? So make sure you compare to people, to things, to whatever you want in life that actually makes sense for you to compare yourself to. When you do it properly, comparison will boost you completely in ways that are probably unimaginable at the start. You realize that you're doing perfectly okay. In the streaming industry, for example, I got a lot of people say, man, I wish I was at 50 average viewers. And they'll say like 20, 25, 30. You compare that to how many followers they have, how much time they stream, to all these different varieties of aspects that come and include themselves into the formula of where you maybe should be, statistically, of course. And then you help them realize that you are doing perfectly fine, and you are probably doing better than the average streamer in this case. When people realize that they're doing just fine and they're exactly where they should be or ahead of the game, your mindset does a click and completely changes. And it is amazing the results you can make, the amazing results that you could formulate, you can create using that positive mindset, because you've literally learned how to compare properly. So I'm not going to sit here and tell people don't compare. I'm not going to sit here and say don't look at that guy with the six-pack abs and don't compare yourself. Compare to who you want. But realize that comparing the right way can have amazing results. Just beware though. Comparing can literally steal your hope, your joy, your passion, your love for whatever you're doing, where you feel like you need to compare yourself. There is a way to do it properly. I encourage you to compare. Only for the sole purpose of realizing you're doing exactly what you need to do, how you need to do it, and you're doing amazing. If If you have any comments and you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Music, feel free to come to the YouTube video, drop them down in the comments down below, feedback, questions, and we'll talk about it next time. Now remember, don't compare yourself to the burrito you're about to eat. If you do, just make sure you remind yourself of how good looking that burrito is and how much better looking you are. We'll catch you next time on the next episode of FormCast. Cheers.